All right, they should be able to see us and hear us. All of you say something to make sure that the audio is working.
Hi.
There we
Hello. It
go.
is a
Audio is
beautiful
working.
overcast day.
It's a beautiful. It's been windy and my dog's freaking out. Like
Yeah, Ripley hates
Ripley
that.
Oh,
hates wind. Hates the wind, and she's been flipping
Ripley
out.
hates all weather.
that's
Ripley hates a lot
interesting.
of things.
Yeah, especially giant like bloodhounds and wait, what was your dog again? Not bloodhound. Was it bloodhound? What was Odin?
Odin?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a bloodhound.
yeah.
Odin's a big boy.
Actually, I think she liked him a little too much. So, hi, we're Adventures Lollygagging. We're playing Mutant Year Zero today, this afternoon, whatever time this is. So, Melissa's going to be a little late, so she'll be in the party pretty soon here. But we're going to be continuing our GenLab game. So, if you're watching us live, hi, thank you. Say hello in the chat. If you're not, if you're watching this later, that's cool too. Come catch us live sometime. Yeah, so we play lots of Free League games here. We're going to play some other games as well, but I won't go and belabor any plugs or anything. So if you're watching this later, just go to twitch.tv/thelollygaggers and give us a follow, and you can kind of get announcements for whenever we go live. Yeah, so let's go around really quick, just remind people who we're playing, and yeah, so Ashley, new, because we have a couple new characters too. It's very important. So Ashley, tell us about your character.
Yeah. I have a new character. Her name is Bassi. She's a silver
Fox.
back gorilla. Um, she is a silver fox. She's also a cradle robber.
Ooh.
Um, and I'm trying to find. There we go. I have frog legs. I suffered a couple of mutations using my skills because I'm a tainted animal. I'm not just a regular as you can get.
Regular
in
animal
Zero.
mutant. Yeah, you're a tainted animal.
Yeah. So
Right.
her power is she started with pyrokinesis, so I can light things on fire, and it's very interesting because I just like roll a dice basically, and determine what the effect is going to be.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
And it's very cool.
Yeah, like so normally with animal mutants, right? Animal mutants is the basic premise of the GenLab version of Mutant Year Zero, which is what we play.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, everyone gets animal powers, and whenever you use your animal powers, you roll a couple dice, you see whether or not the feral side of you overtakes your more humanistic side, and if you lose control and such like that, you can eventually develop more feral powers. But usually you can choose them. With what Ashley's playing, she's playing like a blend between that an animal mutant, but also like a human mutant, which is what the original Mutant Year Zero Path to Eden game is about, the first core rule book that preceded GenLab Alpha. And so it's kind of like a blend. So she gets some feral abilities, so some animal stuff, animal powers, but also some mutant powers. And the mutant powers, however, they're random. Like you don't get to choose what you get. It's just sort of randomly assigned to you. And so you got a cool one though. Pyrokinesis is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Set things on fire, and now you have frog legs, and so you have
Yeah.
your two, but you still only have the one animal power, right?
Yeah. Well, I got frog legs, so that's
Frog legs.
Or no, that is
that's a mutant power. Yeah.
Yes, I do only have the one animal power,
Okay.
which is climber.
Okay. Cool. All right. So then let's go over to Long Lee. Who are you playing?
I'm playing McCloud 64.
Yeah.
Big fox from the dog tribe.
Yep.
He's a youngin. He's a seer as well.
Yeah.
And I think the last session he got beat up pretty bad rolling down the hill.
Yeah, that's true. Also, like you have you're starting. I think you're becoming a prophetic figure in the dog tribe somewhat. So
I hope so.
yeah, Bert, back to back Free League games too. So I got like an hour off, and now I'm right back to Mutant Year Zero. So I'll probably start playing Mutant Year Zero with all the same rules that I just have in my head from Forbidden Lands, because the slight differences are just so much. But yeah, McCloud's got a little following that's brewing, but you have trouble with your following because some of them have gone missing. So one day we'll explore that story. Melissa's not here, but she'll be here shortly. Melissa's playing Hamill 76. Hamill is a weasel. She plays a hunter. She's a tiny little thing. The big thing with her is that she killed her brother, or let her brother get taken in the very first episode of our podcast, and then more recently, in the last couple episodes, discovered that he was not in fact dead, but has been experimented upon by the Watchers, and they rescued him and there's another badger that kind of took him back to the badger tribe and is kind of keeping an eye on him. So another storyline we might be able to pick up on at some point. Derek.
Yes, so I am also playing a silverback gorilla. I'm the elder sibling to Bassi, and I'm Penrose 07. Basically the healer of the group. So Penrose is more refined in speech and in mannerism, loves to practice his medical knowledge or just kind of rehearse it to himself. Also was experimented on and hasn't quite fully discovered what the implications of it are. So he's just trying to protect Bassi, who loves to just charge right into things, and Penrose is like, no, wait, we've gotta make sure you're okay.
Did you mention what mutant power you got, by the way?
I have not mentioned it yet. Something happened while we were sleeping, but it was not discussed.
Okay, so do you want to explain it now, or do you want to like let that play out in game?
I think I want to try and let it play out in the
Okay,
narrative. Yeah,
let's do it.
It's nothing super fancy, but
Nice.
I like the way we were going about it.
Right on. Yeah, perfect. And then Logan.
Yeah, so I'm playing Cujo. I'm our warrior of our group. I'm a Wolverine. I'm in the Badger tribe. So I'm trying to prevent people from dying, but that didn't work too well.
Sure, but you also, I mean, you came out with more people than you went in with, so like there's that, right? You know,
Net positive.
So I just see that there's a roll right here in chat that's got 1 billion dice. What's up with that? Is that what you're now normally rolling when you attack? Because if so,
Yeah, so
you win.
No one really found out, but I found this odd weapon when I was.
All right. So, quick summary: you all work in you're members of an animal resistance. You are trapped within Paradise Valley. Paradise Valley. It's a post-apocalyptic world, but Paradise Valley is a very lush, verdant valley. It's not too big. It's like maybe 30 miles across at most, and a couple mountain ranges or a couple mountains and such, and big old forests and a giant river down the middle. And unfortunately, there's also these electrified fences that prevent you from leaving, and there are these robotic machines that are constantly keeping you kind of suppressed, so they're not letting you leave. They attack you, they take you and experiment upon you, things that we've mentioned before already. And as members of the resistance, you all were recently, the resistance itself was recently hit, where the leader of that resistance, Truffaut, this one-eyed bear with a kind of an eye patch, he was taken, and you all mounted a very brazen and absolutely brilliant rescue mission, and you all went and broke into different layers of this underground labyrinth, got him back, rescued a few other folks, including Hamill's now experimented upon brother, a field mouse named Nero that is not quite there with his memory, but you brought him along, a badger named Hejduk. You also ran into an old friend, Largo, a gorilla that kind of turned on you and you managed to kill. And on your way out, we lost 2 of our own. But fortunately, you managed to find 2 new allies in Bassi and Penrose to assist you, who were sent to aid you by Wild Paw, which is another high-ranking member of the Resistance. And so when we last played, you all had gotten down the mountain after escaping from the underneath Labyrinth, and you made it across a little bit of the way across the valley towards Rat Castle, where, according to Bassi and Penrose, Wildpaw was waiting. You arrived in Rat Castle. A couple of the NPCs went off and did some other things. I can't remember exactly what Ringo was doing, so we'll say, just because I have no memory, that he's with you for now. But he's planning to go back to the Reptile Tribe and tell them about the death of Tchaikovsky. So you all arrived at this rat castle. Now the habitat itself is much larger, but the kind of the main building within which most of the rat tribe, which is comprised of rats, mice, squirrels, hamsters, that sort of thing. It's this multi-tiered concrete building that's kind of overrun with moss and vines and such. And when you arrived, it was kind of militaristic in the sense that there were a lot of different guards that were on watch. And as you were going, and you were being let in, everyone kind of let you in. They saw you. They saw that, they kind of recognized your descriptions for different reasons. They saw the fact that you had a mouse with you. And when you went into this big building, overhead, there was like this, well, you're in a courtyard, and overhead of that courtyard, there was this kind of net that was kind of obscuring vision of that courtyard. You saw that there were cages that had all these different cats in them, probably captives of the Rat Cat War. And eventually you came into contact with Wildpaw, another bear. Truffaut and Wildpaw, being related, had a little moment. And then an albino mouse, very large one, in fact, for probably the largest mouse you've seen since you've briefly been here in the Rat Tribe. You met her. Very briefly, she says, now that you're here, let's get down to business. And that's where we left off. So, as we start, you all, along with Truffaut and Wildpaw and Ringo, are being led through a couple different hallways of this rundown building. You can see that there's different rooms and cells on the left and the right, until you get back to this small, almost like a conference room at the end of a hallway. Nero has been going along with you for a little while. You can see that Small Scabs is talking to him. Nero's having trouble remembering much of who he was prior to his capture, but what he has been doing is he's been detailing how you all saved him. He's been describing how these people showed up. He didn't remember much. He remembered pain. He remembered experimentation. He doesn't remember much else. And that seems to have gotten like Small Scabs on your side a bit. She's kind of looking at you appreciatively, and one by one she kind of comes up and thanks each one of you. As the door to this conference room opens up, Nero hangs back as there's like this whole group of other mice all around. You're let inside along with Truffaut. There's this big crappy table and these old human chairs that don't seem to be in the greatest of condition. And on the wall there's like an old like whiteboard, dry erase board. There's these vertical blinds, and there's other like patches where like there's cardboard that are blocking any view of the outside. And there's also like dirt and grass and stuff coming up from the floor in between the seams. She basically tells you all, okay, time to sit down. We've got to talk about where we're going from here. And so one by one, everyone kind of sits around this big old crappy conference table. And as you all like sit down, you can see that there's about 7 or 8 more mice start filing into the room, just one over the other, and just starting to take up position behind her and along the walls. And she says, we've not met before, but my name is Small Skips, and from here on out, I'm going to be the one calling the shots with this resistance thing. Because if it wasn't for me, right, if it wasn't me sending these two, and she points at both of the apes and such, and if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have anywhere around here. This is the new place. This is the new head. Anyone got a problem with that? And she kind of like stands up and like shooting her chest out a little bit, and there's all these people, all these mice behind her, like now. So, any of you say anything?
Tchaikovsky's ghost will angrily rattle the curtains to this because Truffaut is the one true leader.
And so it's interesting that you mentioned that because there across the room is Tchaikovsky. No, it's because Truffaut you see is just sort of kind of got his head hanging down a little bit. He's kind of looking down at the table, and he seems a little dejected. He's just a little. If you think that's wise, he looks over at Wildpaw. He looks at Small Scabs. Then so be it. If that's what we need for the next steps, then that's fine with me. And he just kind of goes back to just looking down, and maybe he's got that little revolver that has been passing back and forth between him and McCloud, and he's just kind of playing around with it at that point. He seems very dejected. What are you all doing?
I want to say I agree, but I don't want to bring up why.
Okay. Go ahead.
My character isn't going to bring it up, but I'm just going to say, like, from all the resistance cells that have died, it's probably good that we're under new leadership.
And so as you say that, you see Truffaut gets like he slumps a little bit more. Like,
Oh.
Oh, that's so fucked up.
he
Yeah,
feels-
Penrose is gonna go and put like a hand on like Truffaut's shoulder. Like he's new to the group, he doesn't get the whole government and the regime or like the order rank order. But he's like, oh, you're sad.
No, he kind of looks over at McCloud, and you would, he's got a temper, but he doesn't like it doesn't flare up, and he just sort of looks over to you, and he's like, I think you're right. It's probably best you're probably right. It's definitely it's a good idea. I agree with the little one. And then he slides the revolver over towards you. Maybe it's best that I just find somewhere quiet and, just get out of the way of things.
Oh no, Truffaut. Everybody can be of help in some way, so it doesn't mean you're out for the count.
And Paul, meanwhile, is looking over at McCloud with daggers in her eyes. Who the hell do you think you are, you traitor? And she's pulling out like a dog of all people trying to... And you can see she stands up like she's ready to like jump across the table and just rip you apart. But Truffaut just reaches out, kind of pats her on the hand. No infighting. He's got a point, and new blood is new blood. That is good. It's a good thing. If it means the resistance is growing, if it means more people are taking ownership of what we do in the valley, then so be it. And I am the leader, and I was the leader, and those people who passed, it is on my head. Granted, they're the ones who actually decided where they're going to go, but that's not the point. It's still on my head.
I'm gonna kind of whisper to Truffaut under my breath, and just say that, well, at least this is gonna get the Watchers off our back, possibly. Under new leadership.
Yeah, he looks
Maybe
over,
we won't be immediate targets anymore.
Yeah, he looks over and maybe. And so Small Scabs, who is like, well, all right, now that's settled. I thought there'd be a bit more pushback. Listen, I'm not saying that you can't, you can still organise where people go. I'm not saying that, but when it comes to decision making, I want to be a part of every major decision that we have here in the Resistance. I feel like that's only fair. We're giving you shelter. We've got a nice place out of the way, off in the east, past the mud forest, and we can make sure that Truffaut's got a nice place that he can just settle down in, and we can have our meetings. It's not always the best idea to have them here in house. You never know. Some of the rats, like Fink and such, they've got access to grind. So all I'm saying is that larger conversation. Everyone here are considered the brain trust. Okay, that's all I'm saying. We're all part of the brain, and we're all going to make these decisions together. Fair?
And with that, Penrose will kind of meekly like put his hand up while he's like trying to comfort Truffaut, and he'll say, I don't have much experience in the ways of war or in battle, but it seems to me like, would we not be concerned about the red tape that we're adding with every hand and every voice that we have to add into a process? I think that sometimes decisions need to be made quickly and swiftly if we want to stay one step ahead of whomever we're against. And how do we know that adding you into this will not overcomplicate things or cause votes of no confidence or votes of just delays?
It's a very fair question. Thank you for offering it there, Penrose. Thank you. But I'm more talking about the strategy, the big picture decisions. So the turns in which perhaps we might call them strategic. Little tactical decisions, smaller decisions when you're off on missions, of course you make your own. But when we talk about where we're going to be deploying all resources, how we're going to be recruiting more resources and such, where we might be send in some of our troops, where we might be trying to recruit, those types of things. I think that's something that we can all strategically plan together. But
Penrose will just quietly nod.
good. Well, I think this has been very productive. What we'll say here, you all look very tired, so I won't keep you for too much longer. The castle is at your disposal. If you would like to get some rest, get some refreshments, get some healing done, perhaps. A few of you look like you're just a few inches away from death. And when you are ready, I've got some directions for where I think we might recruit a few of our own folks into the fold and find a nice little place to keep Truffaut locked up, just until I'm sure they're going to be searching for him in some of you, just until, a little bit of time, just for the excitement to die down. Sound good? All right. So, meeting dismissed. It's been a pleasure, and thank you dearly for bringing me old friend Nero back to us. From what he says, you all were very brave. You lost some of your own. I very much appreciate that. And, okay. Dismissed. And so the mice are like, she said dismissed. Good, Bassi.
I want to just because I got my frog legs out on display. I would like to scavenge a large skirt.
Okay.
Or just swath of fabric.
Okay. So, how do you carry your stuff? What do you do? Because I know that Derek, when he was playing Tchaikovsky, he had a wagon. Where do you keep your stuff?
Well, I had a rickshaw, but that's up on the mountain. But I did have a backpack, so
okay,
it's greatly reduced.
Okay. So
I'll have to get something new and rebuild my hoard.
So we'll say because you got to rebuild it. So we'll say scavenge in your backpack, do a -2 since you don't have your full stuff. So just roll your scavenge test with a -2. And you can tell that many of the mice that are kind of her hangers on are kind of looking at you with disgusted eyes. She doesn't seem to have any problem with it. You are able to find a very light, thin, raggedy skirt to help cover your frog legs. You did get a lot of weird looks as you were coming in.
I did.
Okay, so you're escorted. Go ahead.
Can it be just the ripped bottom half of a wedding gown?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So you're all escorted out, back through the hallways and such, back into the middle of Rat Castle. And there's guards, there's cages of cats, there's little tents here and there. From what you can tell, there seems to be a lot of rats kind of by the windows looking over the courtyard on the first floor. You can see that the mice are kind of looking down from the second floor. Looks like there's hamsters and gerbils up a little bit higher. And then there's that ceiling or the top of the courtyard where all those different nets and stuff are. That's making it darker in the courtyard than it probably would be as it's kind of covering and obscuring some vision. What do y'all want to do?
So I have a couple injuries. Can I get those healed up somewhere?
So
is there an infirmary?
Yeah. So if you ask around, they mention a mouse by the name of Sniffer, who someone kind of points. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not right. They direct you to somebody else. Actually, Sniffer was somebody else. Sorry. They direct you to Vivaldi. There's a small tent, a couple of them actually in the corner. There's it's a very small version of what you see in the lodge, where there's a couple businesses, so to speak, but it's not particularly robust. But you can see that there is a looks like a gerbil, big old chunky cheeks, and she's working and patching up some mice and some rats when you all wander up.
I quickly kind of elbow Bassi, and I'm like, hey, I need a really nice knife of some kind, or a scalpel if you can find to barter with to get us. I need some more supplies to help with any future surgeries that I might need.
And Bassi will kind of like put her hand on her hip and like kind of like tugging on her new fancy skirt that she really enjoys. If you would not remember, we left my rickshaw up on top of the mountain.
Oh, you don't have anything tucked away in your in your coat or in your pockets, or I don't have anything to trade myself, but if we're going to be doing battle, I imagine someone's going to need some kind of help eventually.
-2, Jeff?
Yeah, -2 for any scavenge rolls, we'll say, until you get something. All right, that's a no.
That's a no.
So unless you want to push it
All
into
right.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot. I'm a weapons collector. So if I was looking for weapons, my horde. Oh, it has to be in my horde. Never mind.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, you don't really have it there. But so what we can do is
How do I rebuild that?
there's instructions for it actually.
Let me
If you
find it.
go back to it, I don't recall.
I
off the top of
remember
my
it
head.
was because it happened to Tchaikovsky once, and I think it was just like you spend like it was like a
Mhm.
day or two kind of recollecting your quote unquote hoard.
Yeah. Yeah, or doing like intense scavenging, like during. It's probably something you would.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna have to do during downtime between missions.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so if you wanted to take care of him, Penrose, you can. Otherwise, like when you go up to this McCloud, when you go up to this chunky cheek gerbil that has like reading glasses right down to their end of their nose, like these, and they don't have any lenses in them. That just has the frames, but they're still kind of hitting them like, what seems to be the problem with you, sir? Are you not feeling well?
I've got a beat up leg here and a pretty nasty cut on my arm.
Okay.
It's a severed artery and a broken leg.
Okay. So, oh dear.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
sad.
sure we did the severed arm thing. Yeah, already. So
Yeah, I remember I stabilized one of those.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the only the severed arm was actually lethal. So I'm sure we already did that. Healing time for the severed arm or severed arm artery, I should say. That looks to have been healed already. So actually it's D6 days. I don't think we rolled them. Did you write down how long these were going to take?
I didn't have anything written down, so I don't think I rolled them.
All right. So let's do.
I also have a busted intestine that got stabilized or whatever, so it's not lethal, but it has 11 days of healing time.
Okay, so then let's do. So Penrose, do you want to do these rolls, or do you want the healer to do it? Do you want to do them and have the healer assist you? What's your preference?
Yeah, I was about to say perhaps with the stabilization, I can like bring them both in and say, I tried. My hands are just quite a bit big, and yeah, have them just like assist me in
Okay.
trying to clear these wounds up.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and the two. It's always a pleasure to have more healing, folks. And then you see them come over to like what looks like some sort of gas tank, and there's like a little face mask out, and they just go, "One moment."
Is that oxygen?
I don't know what it is, but it's delightful, and it makes it so my hands don't shake as much. Do you see? They're so much more steady than they were a moment ago.
Ah,
Yes, so after you, looking up at you because you're much bigger than this person. So go ahead and roll a heal test. We'll start with the. So this is just basically. This is just sort of to fix the injury, because what we've done so far is just to stabilize so it's not dead, and now we're
prevent death. Yeah.
right. And so now we're doing the heal test to make sure that the injury is good. So go ahead and start with the severed arm artery.
Okay. With the assistance, is that any gear dice added to my base and skill?
We'll say +2. It should be to your. I think it's to your skill dice. So don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when the pop up comes up, just add it to the
Yeah.
modifier. Don't add it to gear.
Oh, right. I always forget about the modifier tab.
Yeah. We're still getting used to the new amazing
Hey.
Foundry version. Okay. So you can go ahead and. So what's going to happen then, McCloud, is that they've spent some time stitching up your arm, making sure that it is going to heal. They patch it up. They literally stitch it. You can see that this Vivodi is like with like some sort of fishing line. But you're able to, over the course of the next, it's going to take 5 days for like the stitches to sort of heal up and everything, but you're okay. You're still going to be in that time suffering from the -1 to endure and -1 to move. Okay.
All right.
And then the second one is the leg, which is probably painful. So you want to do the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay. This is all probably going to take a good hour or two, 3 hours.
Oops.
Okay. So same deal. They make a little splint for you. They set the bone. They do kind of do that old-fashioned thing where they get these 2 planks of wood and wrap some cloth and twine around it. It's a very painful process. It's going to take. This one's actually going to take 17 days to fully heal, and in that time you have -2 to move and sneak. Okay.
I think
Oh God.
I was just checking the rule book real quick, but if you have like a fatal injury and it gets like healed or stabilized, it actually cuts the remaining healing time in half.
Okay, so then we'll make it some 5 rounded. We'll say round down. So 2 days for the fatal one, then for the severed arm artery. Okay.
Do any extra successes on my behalf help the process at all? Since I got 2 for each, because I
Good
could
question.
try and push.
I don't see anything like that.
Let me
Oh,
see.
okay.
I think I redid like the healing handout at some point recently. So let's see if I added anything there. So who else has injuries?
I just have my busted intestine, which I accidentally deleted, but I remember it was 11 days of healing.
Okay, so just in general, that heal roll cuts the time in half. Otherwise, that was the time. So the healing time is how long it would take you to heal naturally, and then the passing the success cuts it in half.
Gotcha.
So it's not 17 days for the leg. We'll treat it as 8 days for the leg.
Nice.
So 5. So it's 2 and 5, or 2 and 8. Excuse me. All right. So then we'll do the same thing for Cujo.
Sounds good. Let me just.
You've been here for quite a long time, and so we'll say Bassi, you can be around doing other things if there's something else you're looking to do.
I had broken fingers.
Oh, jeez, everyone's all blessed up. Okay, so you're pushed.
Well,
I knew I
That's a
had something.
yeah.
I couldn't remember what.
Okay. And then do one more for Bassi. She's got broken fingers as
Yeah.
well.
Hey, that's enough.
Okay. Logan, did you
And
roll?
with that, I'm literally gonna pass out from exhaustion because I imagine doing 4 different like treatments has been several
Yeah.
dozen hours.
I'm
or
gonna say
several-
it's gonna push us all the way into the night. Logan,
Yeah.
did you roll the heal time already for your injury?
It was 11 days.
So it's
yeah.
down to, so treat it as 5. And then Ashley, same question. Did you roll the heal?
I
heal
haven't
time?
rolled. I just got it pulled up. It's broken fingers, not lethal, -1 to shoot and fight.
What's the heal time?
Shoot and fight. Has a little button for me to roll. 2d6, 9 days.
So
Okay.
4.
All right, so cut it in half, and it's so since you were so it'd be 4, yeah. Okay, so this takes almost the whole day.
So Penrose like ties the like bandaging around her fingers, and like right as he finishes tying it, he just like kind of slumps in the chair and falls asleep.
And at a certain point, while this is all
I
happening,
swaddle you like a little baby.
Nero comes over, and he's brought over some sort of. You can see that he's got these like garbage bags basically that he's carrying over, like they're tied in the back and they're dropping down in the front. And when he places them down, he starts pulling out what looks to be some kind of generic ration of some kind. It looks to be, it's not the most appealing looking food, but he says, "It's the least I could do for you, helping me. I appreciate it so much. These people said I was, I've got friends here and such, and I've got family." And you can see that there's people behind him that are kind of looking at you all, and they're waving and they're smiling, kind of nervous to come over, but like they're just really happy to have him back. And you could hear, "Thank you. So it's a kind of like you seem to be being treated really well here, surprisingly enough. It helps that Helena's not here because the cat stuff would still probably go bad.
Yeah, I was like, I'm kind of glad she's dead
Wow.
because that would have been really awful.
Okay.
Not like that, But like, there's other cats in cages.
Yeah,
like,
they're there, and every now and
I would
then,
have started.
every now and then you see someone pass by, pick up a rock off the ground, and chuck it right into the cage, and just hit one of the cats. And,
You
like,
guys would
spit
have
on 'em
seen
and
Helena
such.
go fully feral. I would have died here, but I would have died fighting people.
Yeah, so like all of that's kind of happening at the same time people are being really nice to you. So as you're sitting around, like Nero and some of like his family pack, and they're telling you stories about who he is, and Nero's like listening eagerly too because he doesn't really remember. He's got that shaved head because you could tell, and he's got stitches and
Aw.
staples in his head, and his fur's all messed
Yeah.
up, but like he's like really happy to listen to this, and he's just so excited to not be here anymore, not be inside anymore. But as the night's progressing, you all are like around this campfire. You're eating this food. You can see at one point like there's this like reflective light as this small little gray mouse is like wandering through the darkness, a little intermittent darkness between the campfires, and they're just. And they've got these like big old sunglasses on, like these giant sunglasses, like almost like a gag joke sunglass. And they're kind of tied behind in the back, and they got this big old neon green reflector vest. And some of the people that are around Nero's little family, like, oh, Sniffer's here. Sniffer. Bassi and Penrose, when Sniffer gets close, you can say, you hear him say, I know that smell. It smells ape. Penrose?
And at the sound of my name, I'll like jerk awake. I'm like, oh, no, what? Who's? He's a. Oh,
And smells like Bassi, but she smells salty. Did you go swimming recently? Bassi?
I got new legs.
God, no. Okay. Anyway, now you two know him. I would say you all, like the two of you, would be familiar with him. This is Sniffer. That's his name. He's a seer, and much like you went through. You don't. I mean, like you spent time together in like the experimentation with the Watchers and things like that. But and all of you kind of got released around the same time, and kind of came together. But like you. The experiments that the Watchers kind of performed on him have changed him in ways. One of those being it took his sight, but it also provided him other gifts. But I wasn't sure if that was you, but if you say so, I can hear your voice. You sound just, yeah, this sounds like you. He wanders over and he starts like feeling your face and stuff. He's like, yep, that's you. That's you.
Penrose will like pull food out from his pocket, still like kind of half drunk from like sleepiness. Be like, "Oh, Stiffa, have you had your food intake for the day?" Very
grabs it really
important."
fast from you. Thank you. Just
Yes.
devours it super
You
fast.
never know. We might find a way to heal your sight, my friend. We'll do our best.
I don't think it's something that needs healing. I prefer where I'm at now. Tell me, who are these other people with you I recognize? Well, and he starts listing the names of all of like Nero's pack family, and then he's like, that's a smell I haven't smelled in some time. And then, who are these others I smell? Well, that smells like a... Is that a badger? No, that's not quite right. Not a badger. Smells like a Weasel. Wolverine. Is that a dog you brought with you? You brought a dog in here?
Now, Sniffer, there's no need to be cross. We're all friends here. Everyone got in just the same.
Okay.
Not a dog.
Yep, you're
We
right.
found them with Nero and the rest.
He smells even further. Wolf? No, not a wolf. You sound too high-pitched to be a wolf. Gotta be one of them foxes, don't you? Comes over, starts feeling your face a bit, hits your hat. He's like, oh, this is nice. Pulls it off your head. Oh, I like it quite a bit. Can I have it?
Oh, of course not.
Okay. Take it back. That's fine. And he kind of leans in up to McCloud and kind of whispers, you've got a sight too, I see. I can smell it on you. I can indeed. Yeah, you say things, don't
Oh,
you?
it's quite the sniffer you got there.
That's why they call me Sniffer. It's in the name. They're not very bright. This one's not bright, is he? He's not the smart one.
I mean, I could smell
No,
things too, but
Sniffer.
they call
He's
me
just
Sniffer.
he's young.
Wisdom and intelligence aren't the same thing. It's fun. Okay, well, so I hear you're some big damn heroes getting folks out and such, bringing old Nero back. That's good. That's good. Good. He kind of smells something else, and he's kind of, you can see that he's like looking around sort of nervously, and you can see that like there's like over in the corner, like Truffaut and Wildpaw and Ringo are over in the corner kind of talking to small scabs. I don't like what's coming from over there. Smells like trouble. Is what it does. Smells like trouble. You all got yourselves in trouble?
We just got out of some trouble. What do you mean?
Okay. Maybe we notice it's off. It's fun. It's fun. You know, smell that.
It's never off. What are you sniffing? Tell me.
This is something on the air. You know? He kind of looks directly at McCloud, these giant, ridiculous sunglasses. I thought you got the soap. You don't, what do you see? Can you see something? I can smell something. Shh, 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 shh. You hear that? Something's wrong.
We're hearing things.
So go ahead and roll a scout test, negatively modified by 2, McCloud.
That's gonna be 0.
Okay.
I can't even roll it.
You can still roll it because you got your base. What about your base? You got your
My
base.
base is 2, so it would minus the 2.
Oh, okay.
My base.
All right.
So it would like give me no dice, right?
Yeah, you'd be literally at 0. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal.
No
I think,
dice.
Yeah,
No dice.
yeah. Don't worry about it. And so you don't really hear anything, and you can see that he's unsettled, but he kind of sits down and starts just mumbling to himself. He's got like a kind of a small little staff in his hand. He's kind of mumbling, and then he pulls out one of those horns and kind of holds it to his ear and listens out. No, something's not right. Is Melissa ready? I feel like we've got Melissa. No, she's shaking her head no.
She's not ready.
She's not ready. She's
Penrose
here.
will kind of
Not ready.
sit next to Sniffer and say, Can you put it into words that non-sighted folk can understand? What seems off?
It's just there's trouble in the wind, you know? I thought it was them over there. Well, I think it's partly them. And that's when you guys hear kind of a shout coming from the gates that you came in, like that front area. You hear someone kind of call out. Small scabs, you can see starts kind of looking around. And there's a bit of a commotion at the gates. Yep, there it is. It's here. Trouble's here. That's it right there. That's what I smelled.
That must be
Penrose will immediately leap into action, literally, using like jumper to like kind of climb up the castle and get like a better perspective.
Sure, roll a scout test. And since you're climbing up there, take +2.
Ooh.
I think we got the thumbs up from Melissa, so let's bring her back.
Pushed it.
There we go.
Roll your critical injury.
Wait, what?
Okay, so you look out, and you can see in the distance. This is again, it's dark right now, so you don't really see much. But what you do see are lights. You see searchlights from above, 6 of them, all kind of cascading around on the ground like as if they're looking for things. And then you see other lights, more flashing, blinking kind of red lights here and there, and occasionally a tuft or explosion of fire. And you recognize sentinels, and they seem to be coming in a beeline for the castle.
I guess I'll quickly so is there anybody at the top of the castle with me? Like any other rat scouts?
You can see that there's folks up here. Yeah, they see.
So then I'll just start calling like very loudly with, taking my full like breath and voice, like, sentinels on the way, quickly get to safety.
And so everyone else, when they hear you, they look out and they see it and they start shouting as well. And now commotion has sort of started to come over the center of the courtyard as people start shouting like, sentinels, vultures, vultures. And people start moving around in different directions. You see like a bunch of the family of Nero just start scrambling up the walls and kind of diving into different areas of the buildings themselves. Not all of them are. Some of them are still staying here. You can see there's still some rats and some mice and such that are hanging out at the different the bonfires, but you see running over Small Scabs and Truffaut and Ringo and Wildpaw, and she's like, "Okay, you've got to get out of here. You've got to go. You've got to go. You've got to go. They've got to be here for you. We can store them. We can, we can do that. But you got to run. Sniffer, perfect. Okay, head east. Okay, head east past the muds, and you need to find oh God, what's that one's name? Verdi, out in the forest. He can go ahead and help you. Tell him to take you to the hidden trap, the trap door, the cabin. He'll know. Okay, just go, just get him out here. Sniffer, go, show them the way. And so like Sniffer's like, told you there's trouble. Okay, come on. And he like kind of points over to this other hallway, not the same one that you went in before when you were going and trying to find when you had the first meeting, but kind of a different one, and just sort of chasing you off in that direction. Like, come on. Has no trouble, by the way, finding it. Seems to be moving just fine.
Yeah, we'll follow his lead then.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. So as long as you don't linger, you guys can just leave. And at a certain point, you're like going through these different cells. He kind of has you climbing over things and crawling through things. And then all of a sudden he just goes, stop. I smell something again. Everyone go ahead and let's see. There's something out there. And that's when you see out in front, because there's like this big, there's kind of this big hole in the wall of the building. And you can see that there's a spotlight on the ground right at that time. And you can hear the sounds of like the drone calling out various orders to like different animals, around the place. Everyone go ahead and roll a sneak test for me.
Any bonuses or just straight sneak?
Just straight sneak.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, please.
My one dice. Or my 2 dice.
Yes, your frog legs are like squeaking against each other.
Is anybody pushing? Melissa, are you going to push? Long, are you going to push?
I guess I should.
No.
Looks like I got successes from both Cujo and Bassi. Nothing from... Okay. So I got one from...
So the fox and the gorilla, my medical supplies are clinking around in the bag. Too loud.
Okay. So you can see this drone begins to slowly get close down. And as Sniffer kind of says, okay, hold, the two of you just kind of like, you don't catch the order in time. And you just stumble forward, one over the other. And right as this drone starts to settle down right around 10 feet off the ground or so, and shines a bright floodlight directly into this hallway that you're in, and they shout and they say, like you see like that robotic voice comes over, halt, animals, be prepared for inspection. What do you all do?
How far away is it?
In terms of on the ground, you're probably about, we'll put it at like 15 yards, and then it's another like about 4 or 5 yards up in the air.
Okay. I will try to, so if it's shining a light on us, I'll try and use my luminescence mutation to like blind the drone. So it should be close enough to where I can do that.
Okay. So you're going to release a burst of fire. Oh, no, not that one. Burst of light at a target up to near range. I'll say this. Yeah. Near range is actually like spear range. It's actually like reach range.
Oh, so
this
that's
is short right now. I would call this short distance.
Could I combine my jumping animal power to get closer, or could I just run up and then use the luminescence ability since I failed my sneak?
It sounds cool. Go ahead and leap, and then like you leap forward, and then you pop the light. So go ahead and do that.
All right, so I got to roll the check.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good. Yeah, you don't want a 1.
Yeah, you want to avoid the 1, and if you get the 1, then you roll the other thing. So you leap forward, and this bright light. Everyone behind you all see as Penrose leaps over top of some of your heads, slams out in front, just underneath the where the break in the wall is. Bright light. What does it look like? Is there a specific color? Like how does it look, Derek?
Yeah, so because I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z nerd, it looks like I'm just going Super Saiyan. Like I'm just glowing like a bright golden light, minus the like 7 episodes of screaming.
Okay, fair enough.
I pictured it as you just like flash, like you open a trench coat and then the light bursts through your chest.
No. That's 10,000 times better. Yeah. I'm gonna unbutton like my fancy vest and then unbutton my
Yeah.
dress shirt, and my chest hair is just gonna like.
Go on. I could hear a little more of this. Okay, fair enough. All right, so you see this bright light, and this drone is like confused. You can see it's having trouble. It's like it suddenly changes the direction of its flight. It's still sort of almost panicked, like shouting out like its commands at you. What are the rest of you doing? Why Penrose has this little moment here? What are you doing?
Maybe we can use this moment while it's confused. Get up on it, destroy it.
Okay, so if that's what you want to do, just call out what you want to do. We'll call this like you got before we go into initiative. I'll give you all a chance to do something, and if you're not by it or it's not taken care of or something like that, we'll dip into initiative. So just tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll follow with them since I failed to sneak, and I'll just attack it.
Okay, so you're gonna run up. It's for you because it's a little bit high up, so I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to reach it. Do you have a ranged weapon?
Could he jump off of my body?
Sure. We'll say he can do a running jump off his body and do like a flyby attack, but then land. And so you won't remain in close proximity, but you can do like a fancy little leap attack. We'll negatively modify it by.
It's gonna be rough with my broken leg.
Yeah, we're gonna negatively.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're gonna negatively modify it by like -2. We'll say. We'll like basically take your broken leg, your penalty into this. Okay.
You might be better with just using Truffaut's revolver then.
To my attack or
to your attack.
Okay.
So you run up, you jump off
That
this
could be
thing.
really loud.
Oh yeah,
true.
the revolver.
Yeah.
I guess
I
that's
was actually
true.
going to ask that. I have the revolver, I thought.
It's at McCloud's now. We had a little scene, and McCloud has it now.
Oh.
But yeah,
After Truffaut got shit on by everybody, he gave the revolver dejectedly
McCloud
to.
totally called out Truffaut because Small Scab
Yeah.
was like, "I'll think on Paul, let you shit now," and like McCloud's like, "Yeah, we need new leadership." All these
You're
people
an
died.
asshole.
Yeah.
Penrose couldn't say anything because he doesn't understand.
Do you want to push?
yeah.
Go for
Let me
it.
push this real quick.
All right. There you go. Take your 2
That hurt.
points of strength, but you leap off and you do. And you take this machete and you just like on the undercarriage of this flying drone before it has a chance to fly away. It can't see you coming as easily, and you get the shot off. I think. Let me check. I don't think these actually have. I'm pretty sure these don't actually have any armor on them. Yeah, they don't. So that damage goes through. All right, who's next?
I can load up my sling and take a shot.
Okay, go for it. So you're going to load fast and then sling slow. I'm using fast and slow because I'm used to playing all the other free league games.
2 successes.
And that'll
Big hits.
and that'll kill it. And that'll like you. So McCloud runs, jumps, cuts the undercarriage. You see smoke starting to come off it. When you land, McCloud, it hurts, and that's probably where the damage you took comes from. Is when you land, you feel like this shooting pain go up your leg from where you land, and then the drone you can see just starts keeling down to the ground because there's a giant rock or something that just burst into the side of it. The light doesn't seem to be working anymore, and you can hear it making sounds, kind of like some sort of emergency sound type thing, and you know it's probably just a matter of time. So what do you all want to do? Do you want to
Run.
Yeah, I buttoned
Okay,
my
well,
shirt very, very, refined, and then start running with the group.
Okay, so you start the run, and Sniffer kind of maybe you all were the trouble. Let's go, hurry. And he starts running, and I'm gonna say that probably Truffaut and Ringo and Wildpar are probably running with you as well, as they're kind of behind and they're catching up. And so you all quickly get out of the rat castle. You can hear the sounds of more drones flying overhead, but at this point they're starting to swarm around the top of the castle, and you can also hear the loud almost like tank legs, the grinding of the sentinels that are churning through the earth, and they're coming and starting to surround the castle itself. And as you're running, you're like, don't worry, she'll take care of it, that one. She's a savvy one. She's got ambition, but she'll talk her way out of worse things. It's not the first time we've been raided. And so you guys kind of start running for a little while. Everyone go ahead and
Can
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I check like Truffaut and for like a collar to see if like he's got like a tracking device of some kind?
Yeah, you look back. He's got nothing there. No, he's got his like his biker cut, you know, like the vest. He's got his eye patch, and yeah, he's otherwise intact. But yeah, you can see as you turn around, like the bears are loping. Ringa's like, "Ow, not again!" You know, running. But you all will say it's about half an hour of fairly consistent running, and you know, finally you look back and you don't see that. Doesn't look like anything's following you. Probably after about 100 yards, when you look back, you can see that some of the drones that were at the very top of the castle swoop down to the bottom and are examining the actual carcass of the drone that you all attacked as you were running past. And you can hear Sniffer say, "Well, that might complicate things for her, but that's her problem. Let's go." And you begin heading east. So you guys, Rat Castle is kind of on the eastern side of the main river. Like it's a big main river that goes all the way from like the southern gates of the valley all the way to the islands where the apes are, where it's kind of a big lake, and then another branch of the river kind of moves north. Everything actually comes south, but it's moving north, and it winds around in the shadow of the mountain itself. And as you start moving eastward, you can kind of see some of the bends, and like the river kind of bends down around to the north, and you can still hear the river kind of moving around a bit. But it's nighttime, and it's kind of dangerous to travel at night, often in the valley. But at the same time, you have potential watchers. So at a certain point, Sniffer turns around. "What do you want to do? We can travel through the muds into the forest. It's not. We can wait. What do you prefer? It's danger either way."
So wait, we're by the inner fence area between the Rat Castle and the Ape Tribe, if I'm following?
If you look at where I put that little yellow triangle, that's where you guys live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'll show that to the folks in the stream if they're interested. But yeah, I got this little thing right here, so that is sort of dictating exactly where they're at. So Small Scabs is saying either you can try to camp out tonight and travel during the light, and risk the watchers kind of heading eastward and catching up with you all, or you can continue traveling in night, which is a little bit more difficult, but you can still do it.
Let's keep moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah, all right. And he's like, "1 second. Okay, this way." And you can see as he just starts shuffling, the reflective light, like the moon and such, are kind of every now and then clinking off of his vest. It's about, another 1.5 to 2 miles before you start feeling your legs, your feet just kind of dip into the ground, and there's this vast and just wonderfully awful smell. As your feet go down, they sink through the earth. You can feel the mud through like your toes and whatnot, and kind of up to your shins and your knees in some cases, depending on how tall you are. You look back, and the bears are having no trouble, but the rest of you, especially those who are small, who took the small talent, you all, it's like up to your chests, and you're just wading through this awful filth.
Am I able to carry one of the small ones since I'm
absolutely
pretty large?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Would you say my frog feet assist me with this icky nonsense?
If you want to swim in it, yeah.
Carry me, Dad.
Okay, probably not.
I'm so small.
I'll pick up Cujo.
Do you want to go in my backpack?
I'll say each one of you.
I'll get one of them.
Each one of you can pick up one person. Okay, so then
I'll carry Hamill.
You two are both small, I think, right? Aren't you both small?
I have the small talent.
So you're both small.
You're small.
You're both small. All right. So then McCloud with his broken leg is still walking, and
So
like
I'm crippled and I'm just trucking through.
Truffaut looks at you and he's like, "I would have picked you up, but you're a fucking asshole." So no, but he'll pick you up. He'll pick you up.
Hamill's not going to get on McCloud's shoulders. For all she knows, McCloud's going to dump her in the middle of the thing. I mean, this is the kind of backstabbery that's apparently going on.
Well, I didn't backstab anyone. I was just stating the hard cold facts.
Mm-hmm. Because
As
the
you see them.
NPC Truffaut made the decisions on where to send the resistance. Oh, it's so good. All right, so you're traveling through this, and it's getting harder. It's not swamp as much as it's really just mud. Like you're just traveling through mud. There's different like shrubberies and bushes that you can kind of pass by and lean against and kind of take a breath. But it smells like fetid and awful here. Everyone go ahead and roll a scout test, negatively modified by 1, because it's dark.
I'm not gonna. Oh, I do have. I was like, should I even bother?
Is there something sneaking? Because I get a modifier if there is.
No, it's not sneaking. It's just kind of to get a sense of where you are and where you're going.
Oh!
Holy smokes.
Enlightened.
Dane, what the
Very
heck?
nice.
I just elevate, and light bursts from my eyes.
Who's carrying Cujo?
I am.
If you need it, you can take one of Cujo's successes.
Wow.
Since the two of you are kind of one big group.
Don't take my success, bro.
Okay. So as you all are walking and trudging through this, every now and then some of you hear a bloop, bloop, kind of like a pop of something somewhere, and then in the distance you hear tss, and you're kind of looking around, sniffers. You can see he's almost like swimming at this point. He's down so far, and that's when very close to you all. Specifically, who's got Hamill?
Easy.
Okay, so Bassi.
I passed.
Yeah, you passed, but Hamill didn't.
Oh, okay.
So next to you all, like right immediately next to you, probably right as you pass by Bassi, and she's kind of like hanging out on your back, this eruption of like steam just bursts out of this big bubble, and just sends all sorts of like hot air and goo in all sorts of different directions. Basically, you're able to sort of move your body enough to sort of dodge it, but unfortunately, it also leaves Hamill actually in the way of it. So let me go ahead and see whether or not any of this steam
I
falls on
thought
top
you
of
zipped the backpack closed. It's open. What's going on?
And you
need air.
the backpack's enough actually, as you can hear like little sounds of like steam like hitting against the cloth, but it's just enough to kind of protect you from it. And it's at this point you start hearing those plopping and that's over and over and over again, and you realize that you're kind of caught within some very dangerous area, and Sniffer kind of starts backpedaling a little bit like, uh-oh. It's, the muds are angry. Oh, God. Well, it's hard to smell in here, you know. It's just so much. And he seems a little kind of out of his wits. But you all are surrounded by these exploding bubbles of steam. What do y'all want to do?
Are there any trees, or are we just in like a flatland area?
Yeah, it's mostly flatland, but there are some shrubberies and things like that, and some rubbish that's tilted over on its side. It looks like this is probably like floodlands, where like maybe the river floods every now and then it just seems to stay like in some way like soggy. So, but you can see like you've found a safe little spot, but you don't
Let's set up camp.
Yeah, you don't know whether or not these things travel or if it's specific locations. Like, what do you want to try to do?
Could we like try and like stay for a little bit to see if they move at all? Like get
Sure.
like a pattern going, or
Okay. Roll a no nature. Yeah, just no nature straight up.
okay.
Okay. So, with that success, you would probably, you know that there's like, you can tell just from your frog legs going down that there's definitely solid ground underneath, but what's probably happening is that there's probably these different patches here and there where like scalding hot water is like pushing up through the mud. And so you don't think this is a case of like those bubbles like moving and exploding. It's more of stationary, like there's very specific spots. And so if you're careful, if somebody kind of scouts, gets in front, does a nice little scout, and kind of leads everyone on the path, like you can probably avoid this. You can probably like navigate around it. Does that make sense? Like they're not like, you know, there's stationary explosions.
Who is our scoutmaster? Lil Hamill.
Yeah, I've got 5 total for scout.
Okay. And so if you you know, I mean, the two of you are together, and so if you like prop her onto your shoulder, that makes sense. You can roll it, and I'll say that since Bassi's with you, you can go ahead and take a +1. So actually, just roll it normal because the darkness is gonna kind of cancel it out. So just roll it normal.
Got a success.
Okay. And so the two of you go up to the front. Sniffer is kind of next to you, kind of holding on to maybe one of the piece.
Can I also just like put him on my head?
Oh, he doesn't want to be carried. Like he most certainly.
Oh, okay.
What do you think about him? No, thank you. And he grabs on to like a piece of like your wedding dress, and you kind of navigate.
Beautiful.
And it's about half an hour more of trudging through this before you start to feel solid footing underneath you. And you can also see, like, not too far ahead, there's all sorts of these different trees that are starting to sprout up. And as you leave the mudded area, it's like, okay, we're through now. Everyone all right? Everyone okay? You have... Yep, smells like everyone's here, everyone's fine. Okay, we want to keep going?
Yeah, we made it this far. Keep on going.
Yep.
All right, you all certainly are a dangerous lot. Okay. So you continue traveling, and at a certain point, I'll roll over your scout roll. You hear a swarm of buzzing, Hamill. You hear this up in front of you somewhere, and a little off to the side. It's like to the east, a little to the south, a little off to the west. It's not fully surrounding you, but it's kind of blocking a lot of the path for you. You're just buzzing everywhere. Sniffer too. Sniffer's you hear that? You gotta sell something ahead. What would you
What
like
are
to do?
those? Do I
Probably.
know what that could be?
Roll a no nature.
It's probably not going to go well. No successes.
Okay.
That's not my thing.
It's a swarm of some kind. I mean, you've encountered swarms of insects before. There's tons of different types. You're not sure exactly what these might be, but yeah, there's something up ahead, something nearby. What do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with that information?
Ashley, get a fireball ready.
Is it
I mean,
go around double? Like just go to the left instead of the right?
You can attempt to
Maybe-
stealth. I mean, I would say you can attempt to stealth past. You can do whatever you want. You just tell me what you want to do.
I can always hide in a backpack, so I'll just say. Like,
or
there's
we could
something
try the
there.
morning. Get some sight going on.
Is there any way to start a fire?
Sure. Do you have stuff? Do you have like flint and tinder and?
Heck no, I don't.
You can find some pieces of wood and whatnot. So McCloud, if you want to, go ahead and roll like a little scout test to see if you can find some like 2 sticks that you can rub together and some firewood and whatnot.
I do not.
No, it's pretty dry. It's like it's not dry here. It's just like if you go any further, you'd probably worry that you're gonna get into whatever those insects might be.
Mm-hmm.
So unless somebody has like a lamp on them or something or a lighter, a little bit harder.
Who ended up getting all of the
Scavenger.
stuff off of Chai's wagon?
Oh, I have
'cause
a
he
flashlight.
did.
Why would I need to start a fire?
There you go. You gonna pull the flashlight out?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. You pull the flashlight out, and as you do, and you shine it forward, you watch as there's this huge like wall of insects that are swarming around something on the ground, and swarming in like the trees as well. And as the light goes at them, they kind of scatter at first, and then they start to dash towards you. They just they start flying towards
turn
the
it off,
light.
turn it off, turn it off.
All right, I'll shut it off.
So they start flying, and at that point, you can hear that they're bzz, 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 and they're all kind of effectively inside of you at this point. So let's see who was out in front. Bassi, Hamill. This is going to be Bassi, Hamill, and McCloud. I'm going to be rolling a couple dice against all of you. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm in a backpack. Whatever
Okay.
That's worth.
All of you lose 1 ration of food. As they're swarming around, they're swooping inside, and like you are now kind of covered. And those of you that were lingering back, you can see that they're kind of swatting stuff away as they have dozens and dozens and dozens of flies of some kind that are swarming around them. And you can see, and you all can hear that there's more that are buzzing in different directions. What do you want to do?
Somebody who has more food should throw something stinky off to the side.
Can you scavenge for something stinky?
I mean, it would be a negative mod again, because I haven't.
Okay. I mean, everyone can do
Oh.
something here before they
I have
start
a,
nibbling.
I
I have
have.
one grub that I can throw.
Okay.
Unless you want to do something, Logan.
I have grub. I can throw food.
Okay. So you start throwing food. The two of you throw food to their sides. What about Ashley? You find something. So Bassi, you pull out some kind of really, I don't know. It's like old cheese, like something, whatever they called, whatever the
Yeah.
humans called cheese.
Can it be like a big, just like wheel of cheese?
Yeah, it's probably something
Blue
that
cheese.
it's probably something that somebody tried to make and reproduce cheese in some way. I don't know. It didn't work.
I love bear
I just
cheese.
chuck
Ooh,
it.
gorilla cheese. Ooh,
I like
makes
goat
cheese
cheese.
out of gorilla milk.
I don't make.
I'm a
I don't
goat
make
cheese
cheese. No.
Okay, so Penrose and McCloud, you have do you all want to do something as well?
I don't really have any items, and yeah, I don't really have much.
Okay. All right.
It's gonna flail around me, get these things off me.
All right.
Yeah,
so-
I guess I'd just be swatting at the air.
Yeah, and it's kind of ineffective. Occasionally you get one, but there's just so many that like every 1 or 2 that you get is quickly replaced by another. Now, when Cujo and Hamill and Bassi throw them off, like throw food off in different directions, huge chunks of the swarms chase after like that sort of that grub, leading something of a path forward. Like it's a kind of a thinner wall of them. You can try to push through if you want to push through. If anybody wants to try, or you can try to do something else. They're all over the place, but
I'm gonna grab like Penrose's like collar and I'm gonna slap it down and say mush.
okay.
I guess I'll charge forward wherever the path is.
And so you see Sniffer and Truffaut and Ringo and Wallopal, they start moving forward as well. And they're all doing the same thing. You can see that Truffaut's lifted up his leather cut and is kind of covering his ears and his eye, and you can see that Ringo's like, "This is not what I signed up for." And as he's going by, he's like, "Okay, never mind. This is delicious." Oh. And just like grabbing a couple as they come out of the air. I want everyone to go ahead and make a move test as you push through here.
Even me.
Bassi, so like my wedding dress skirt has 2 slips, so it's got like the underslip and then it's got like a lace thing. I pull the lace part over me,
Okay.
like I'm the grudge girl, and I'm just gonna start running.
Okay. Fair enough.
Did you say there was a minus modifier?
I would say like if you're gonna, I mean, Logan already rolled, so just roll it normal then. I was gonna say if you were carrying him, I would have probably given you a penalty, but okay. So it looks like it's just Ashley, right?
I can push.
I could also.
Yeah,
Wait,
go ahead and push your leg.
can I give her a success?
Sure, yeah. You reach back and you grab her and you kind of pull her through, and all of you kind of push through with the spread of the swarm. And as you go by, you can see that there's a large, some kind of animal on the ground. It looks like a monster of some kind. As you swing by it, it looks like one of those flying moray eel types. The carcass is just there. There's still flies that are left on it, but you hurry past. You get over top of it and you get into the forest itself. And soon you put the sound of the buzzing behind you. And when everyone starts looking around, you realize you've lost some grub, but everyone seems to be physically intact. There's no real issues. So the further and further you go in, you start realizing that at least a couple of the trees that you passed by were like kind of fruit-bearing trees, and a lot of those have been stripped to some degree. But eventually, you're just kind of getting into these larger, kind of gnarled oak-looking trees. And at a certain point, we'll say Hamill and Sniffer, both of you, your ears start to prickle a little bit. Yeah, like, I don't know anyone, but I think we're being watched. And Hamill, you can start to hear like sounds up in the trees. Like
I'll point out like where I think they are.
You look up. I mean, you're not really sure, but like you can hear the sounds of like the trees, the limbs rustling.
So from my backpack perch, I'll kind of turn around to the other folks and just kind of indicate that everyone should be quietly moving.
Okay. All right. So you quietly move in, and then at a certain point, McCloud, do you still have your flashlight out?
Yeah.
You look up at one of the trees, and you can see that all along this very thick branch, there's like 6 squirrels that have either bow or sling at the ready, and they're pointing directly down at you. You look over to the left, and there's like another 6 on a completely different branch that are just right in front of you. And as you kind of step up, and you can see this, there's this gray squirrel that's just up there. All right. Just who do you lot think you are coming into our forest?
Travelers? I don't understand the question.
Who do you think you are coming into our forest? This ain't... You're not supposed to...
I didn't see any sign that said fear those who enter or anything among those.
What do I say? These are actually good answers, no one.
Small scab.
What about her?
She told us to go this way, and we're with Sniffer.
Right. Hi. Hello. Verdi, is that you? And the really high pitched squirrel, like, right. Yeah. What did she tell you to come out here? It's just to you, Bassi, the one who talked. You mentioned small scabs.
For Truffaut.
Truffaut?
And like,
What the fuck's a Truffaut?
Bassi doesn't expand on anything, and she points at Truffaut.
What the hell is it? For a bear? What the hell's a bear doing up here? Go ahead and roll dominate, Bassi.
Oh,
Yeah. You're the one who's talking.
why am I doing this?
Because you are the one who talked. Can't always be the person who's perfect for it. It's the person who has the idea.
Ooh.
You rolled 2, so that's pretty good. Let me roll a couple. All right. Like, all right. And then you can see that this squirrel really quickly just runs over to the actual trunk, climbs out, and is down in like 2 seconds, and is right in front of you. Like, okay. Now what did Small Scab send you out here for your foe? And right up to you, Bassi. Like, you're the one who's been doing the talking. That's right underneath you, looking right up at you. They're probably a quarter of your size, but they're looking right up at you.
So, Small Scab sent us up the mountain to the cab, and we found them, and we brought Nero back, and then after that, we came back, and there's the raid, and she told us we had to go this way, and so we did.
Okay. All right. And then Sniffer steps up. Okay, listen, this is it. And he kind of fills in all the other stuff, because there's a lot of stuff you left out. There's go find Verity, say that...
Bassie's very sussant.
Yeah. Because Sniffer's like, okay, she said, go find this and that, because you were supposed to tell him, tell Verity, like, to take them to, like, the hidden cabin, the hidden hatch, and shit like that. So you mentioned that, and they're like, oh, okay, it's fine. Why don't you just say that? What's wrong with you? All right, it's too dark though. Let's just go. And so they turn around, get you to follow for a bit, and they lead you back to like this massive tree, like huge tree with like it's like a hollow empty area, and you can see like up on top you can hear that the squirrels are just hopping from branch to branch to branch to branch. All right, you can all sleep around here. The big ones outside, little ones you can come inside. Now, funny business, and don't touch any of our food. You got it? Got it.
Okay.
I'm already reaching for looking for something.
Okay. They shoot you in the head. Okay. Someone, a
happened to
big old
McCloud?
stone just whacks you in the head. I said, no, taking our food. This one's outside too. Don't want him in. So then they invite you to stay. You can go ahead and sleep the night here if you want to rest. Do you all want to rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, we should push forward. No.
You guys kept going and going.
You go right ahead. We'll catch up tomorrow.
All right. So go ahead and take your rest. Eat your ration of food and your thing of water for the day.
Do they have water to share?
No, they ain't sharing shit.
Yeah, I can give you extra if you need.
Okay, they're not gonna share anything with you. They're hoarders. You look inside, and they have got all these different
Squirrels.
tons of hoarders up here. Well, go ahead and take your rests, eat your food, and we can go ahead and play in the morning. The morning comes around. So, anybody eat extra food for healing or drink extra water for healing?
Yeah, I'll need to do 2 extra for the damage I took earlier.
Did we lose Logan? I can't tell if Logan's there. Okay, he's
Sorry, sorry.
No, you were just like haven't moved in a while. I'm like, is he there? I can't tell if he's there, if he's frozen.
We've had Josh freeze before,
Yes.
so we were like, oh no.
Yeah, we've had that happen multiple times. Okay.
It's my friend's birthday, so my group chat is blowing up. So.
Oh, right on.
Oh,
Right on.
fun.
Okay. So morning comes around, and it's kind of a foggy day, but not a terribly warm one. But Verity's there along, and like all of their squirrel guards are still up in the branches. You can see some of them, but yeah, you can see that none of like Verity is kind of this gray squirrel with like some white tufts of fur on their face. They have this top hat that they have on, this tiny little top hat that they're wearing, and you can see that there's like a little belt that they've made out of what you imagine are a series of shoelaces, and from that hangs a sling. And so they want you to go to the hollowed out cabin, huh? Okay. Okay, we can do that. It's fun. What's in it for us, though? What are you giving us? I'm looking at you, the people playing this game.
Hamill shrugs her shoulders. I don't know.
What you got? You
I'm
got
Do you
looking.
have anything?
What do I have?
That's a pretty nice looking gun you got there. That's what it is. I've seen one of them before. I've always really wanted one. Yeah. I know. You guys decide.
I'll offer them a club and a machete. Weapons.
Okay. Okay. Now we're talking. I like this. And they'll reach out and grab the club. And right as they grab the club, they'll grab it and it falls in their hand because they can't. They're not strong enough to carry it. Oh, Big Henry's gonna love this one. And it just drags it inside the big old tree. Comes back, gets the machete, grabs it, thunk, kind of falls down. But they're able to pick this one up. Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, eat up. We'll go. Gotta warn you, though. It's kind of dangerous.
How?
Well, it's not. It's hollowed out, but there's some stuff there, you know. The flamers are over there.
What?
Flamers. Flame, like fire. So,
Yeah.
they look like shamblers, but they breathe fire, you know.
Okay.
That's why we don't go over there. It's kind of dangerous. No one goes over there. Everyone stays the hell away from it.
So are they like squirrels that like fire?
Oh, no,
or-
they ain't squirrels. They don't talk. They're animals, you know? Not animals like animals, but animals like animals.
Oh.
Got it? Clear?
Bassie's not exactly following,
No.
Okay.
but like
Okay.
she's down.
Like
Okay.
are they like my size or like our size or are they like her size?
Eh,
Like
Pointing to
Bassie's
Bassie.
gonna like lift up the corner of her skirt and like wiggle her frog toes and be like this kind of like weird.
you see that they immediately like load their like, what are you? What are you? What are you? Got like this sling.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Just a bit of hair missing, nothing to be afraid of.
Bit of hair missing. Look at the legs. She looks like a frog.
Well, we're all born with different anomalies. It's not a big deal. I'm sure you're weird in some
It's
way.
a birth defect. You
Just
should
call
not
me-
judge.
He's
You
called me
should not
weird.
judge people. You're very statuesque. I appreciate you.
Okay. I like this one, sort of, even though this has got the fucking legs. This one, he called me weird. I'm gonna remember that. You know what they say, squirrels never forget.
He's like a mean older brother. You don't. Yeah,
What are
don't
we
listen.
remembering?
I'm sorry,
That you
what?
were mean.
Anyway, yeah, there's, oh no, there's a few of them. Not sure how many, but they've got, you've seen shamblers before, right? You know what they look like. Hamill,
Yeah,
you
Hamill's been a
Hamill,
shambler.
you absolutely know what a shambler is. It's like a big old. It's like
Hamill
a
knows, or-
wild boar. It's like a wild boar.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, but they like eating all the wood. You know, they chew on the. They ate the cabin, and now they're eating some of the trees, and they. I don't know how it works. I'm not a scientist or nothing, but they breathe for you. Now, they leave you alone if you don't go poking around at them. They're not all mean and nothing. But, hey, if you want to go over there, that's fine. I'll show you it, and then I'm gone. I'm out. Got it?
Thank you for the warning.
Okay.
Got it.
So, Verdi, it's not that long. It takes half an hour. It takes you pretty much straight north. You're into the shadow of, like, a ridge. I'll go ahead and, like, kind of give you sort of a general ping of where you would be. You're kind of right around where that ping is. And when you get there, like you got all these really big, beautiful trees, but then you can start to see that there's this whole swath of area that's, you know, probably about maybe half an acre. It's like blackened and sootish, and there's like trees that have that are kind of like the gnawed on here and there. You can see that the center there's like this burnt down human cabin that's like covered in black soot. And you can see that wandering around there's creatures. What do you want to do? And then Verity's like, all right, that was my end of the deal. Peace out, bitches. And then gets going.
So we need to get into the cabin, correct?
So yeah, there's some sort of hidden something or other. Like there's something hidden here, like beneath and this is like where you're gonna hide out Truffaut or something.
Okay. I guess then. So Penrose will say, I can create a distraction with my bright ability. I probably would be a pretty good distraction to get the attention of these animals if you all want to go inside, and I can try and figure my way back. Are there trees around this area, by the way?
Yeah, there's tons of trees. It's just some of them are like burnt and blackened and sootish, and some of them look like they've
Gotcha.
clearly been eaten. But you're in a very lush forest for sure.
Okay, yeah. So I could basically just use my luminescence to draw the attention of these boar-like creatures away, and then just use my jumper ability to climb a tree and get back.
Okay, all right. So do you want to? I mean, is anyone doing anything other than that? Like you can see that there's a couple. You're not really sure exactly how many there are. Again, it's about a half an acre area that's just like kind of covered in this sort of black ashy soot. Is anyone doing anything else? Like,
I think I'd want to watch them for a little bit just to see if we can see like a pattern of their movements or whatever to try to think of a good time to go.
okay, roll a scout.
Roll a math test.
Should I
Okay.
push?
Darn it. I would
Then do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Shit.
Oh, that's a bad push.
That was a bad push because I didn't have extra
Bait
water
it.
last night, so
McCloud said he gave you extra water.
extra water?
Didn't he? Did you say you gave her
Yes, I
water?
did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Okay. I mean, you still take that, and you still
Still
fail.
two, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hard to get a number, but you can tell that there's. You could tell that there seems to be at least two, but they disappear out of sight sometimes as they go around the different trees and as they go onto the grounds of that burnt cabin as well. So you don't really know the number, but at least two. Anybody else want to do anything?
If needed, can always stun them with the warning call, animal power.
Okay, I mean that's if we get into combat and stuff like that.
Right.
Like this is like you guys. This is like one of those. Like, is there anything you would like to do in terms of preparation? This is not necessarily combat. This could be whatever you guys want it to be. But you just tell me, what do you want to do? You're trying to get into the cabin because there's something hidden in there that's supposed to hide
Derek?
your foe.
Derek can camouflage himself, so I think we should just send him in there. Just use all of his mutant points. So
I can't camouflage myself.
He's luminescence.
bet me money. Yeah. Briefly
So are-
bend light around you to
Oh, yeah,
obscure
yeah.
your presence. You can use this
Oh,
effect to
yeah.
escape from a combat without rolling to move. But I'm
forgot
gonna
I-
bend that.
That's the third one.
I mean, maybe it's just maybe you can't use it in that situation. I don't know, but it seems like it would be a legal move.
So our understanding of these people is that they are dangerous because of the fire, or
They're
that
not
they are
people.
also-
They're animals. They're
Good,
quite
that's it,
literally
yeah.
walking around on all fours. They're like big wild boars that just happen to be able to blow fire.
What do I know about them? Like,
Roll.
are they aggressive, or would they run if they were frightened?
Verity specifically told you that they are not like they're not mean. They keep to themselves. Just like no one goes near them because they're dangerous because they breathe fire.
They like cupcakes. Throw them a birthday party.
You can-
might let us through.
You can roll a no nature -1 if you want. They're Bassi.
Let me push.
Nice.
So as you're watching, you kind of get the sense that they seem to be eating a lot of wood, and a lot of like they go up and they literally just start munching on tree trunks and fallen branches and such. You can see that there's at least 2 of them that are wandering around that are decent size. Once or twice you get kind of relatively close, but you can kind of hear their stomachs gurgling a lot, and shortly after that happens, you can see like literally like a belch of fire as like this huge like array of fire just bursts out in front of them, and little tufts of green that might have not yet been turned to black or suddenly done so. At one point though, like you can see, since none of you have said your stealthing, like they look up and they see you. They see you all just kind of lingering and looking at them, and then they just go back to just chomping at their trunks, at the trunks of the wood. They don't seem to be aggressive towards you.
Penrose will kind of like, can Penrose see what type of wood they go after, or what they see? Because obviously like the most tasty morsel gets eaten. So Penrose will kind of like study and see, and then try to collect bits of wood that look like that, what they're eating, and then try to, like lure a, wild creature over, so lure them away from the cabin.
Right. I mean, they definitely seem to be munching on the trees themselves. And there's only one type of tree around here, but like you go around and you can take a few minutes to collect some fallen branches and things that seem to be the easiest bits of fruit, so to speak, for them to bite on.
So then Penrose will kind of do like what you would do with a stray dog that you would see in like an alley, like, and then wiggle the food and see if they'll like walk over to him, and then lure them away from the cabin so someone else can go in.
Okay. And you
Bassi's just gonna walk to the cabin.
Okay. And you see one of them, like the one that one of them like looks at Penrose and it just sort of waddles towards you, kind of going after. And what do you do? Like as it gets within a couple feet of you, what do you want to do? And it's like gurgling, and every now and then you see a little like a bit of fire burst out.
Yeah, Penrose isn't really afraid of like getting singed a bit, so he'll just hold the branch or the wood out a little bit and let it nibble from his hand, and just kind of like talk to it soothingly, like, "Oh, you're quite a big one, aren't you?"
Okay. And you can see like they've got these little kind of tails in the back, and when it gets to like start eating on the branch, and you say some nice things, like the tail kind of wags a little bit, and then it kind of follows you as you start to lure it away a bit. Okay. So yeah, you're easily luring one away. You're saying nice things. It doesn't seem to be aggressive. Occasionally it belches fire, and you kind of have to like dodge out of the way of it. You have to be quick, but like
pat my arm out.
Yeah, but it's definitely it doesn't seem terribly angry with you. Bassi, you said you were just walking right up to the cabin.
Yeah, just
Okay.
like carefully, but
Okay.
she's just going for it.
Okay. So you start walking up to the cabin. And when you get to within about 10 feet of the cabin, the other one of these things, you suddenly hear, and it begins to charge at you. Go ahead and
Okay.
roll initiative.
Sounds
Oh,
good. I have
poop.
hold on. I have frog legs.
Okay.
We know you have.
You mentioned that a few times.
My
Still
dress
gonna need
has
you to roll
pockets.
initiative, but yeah.
Yes. I can get out of a dangerous situation by jumping to safety. So could I just like
Okay. Where is
leap
safety?
on
Yeet
Like,
yourself into the
either-
cabin.
like either to like the top of the cabin or like into like a tree?
The cabin would not be leaping into safety. If you want to turn around and leap back, I'll let you do that.
Okay, I can do that.
There's babies in the cabin. It's their nest.
So as it comes, you turn around and just leap away. It follows you like for a few steps, and then it sees that you're, and then it kind of stops and it comes back and it's doing its thing. And
Okay.
it doesn't seem to follow you.
I just need to roll a d6.
Yeah, go ahead and do that for your power.
D8, d6. There we go. 2.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. All right. What else are you doing?
Well, apparently they don't like it when you get near cabin, so maybe it would be a good idea to continue.
Hey, McCloud, how many rounds you got left in that revolver of yours? Maybe we could take a few of them out and move on in.
Got 3 bullets.
Hamill would have been keeping an eye on. Sorry, Derek, I totally forgot your new character name.
Penrose.
Oh, Penrose.
Penrose. Keeping an eye on what Penrose was doing.
Okay.
And so Hamill, seeing the success of that, would like to try the same.
Okay. So you do the same thing to the one that sort of chased after Bassi. It'll come up to the edge and it'll nibble on the branch. But as you start to try to lure it away, it stops. It doesn't, it like kind of, it'll go a couple steps, then it'll sort of stop. As if it doesn't want to go any further. And you can hear like a little whine and a belch, but like you keep trying to like get it to come further away and further away, but it's just like, it seems like it's maintaining a particular radius.
Can I like roll something to see if I hear anything coming from the cabin, like babies or something?
I'll say you can roll. I mean, like you're nowhere near the cabin anymore, so you can go ahead and roll scout. But with your distance, we'll say -1. You want to push?
Yeah. Bummer.
There was sound, but you can't quite distinguish exactly what it was. But yeah, it sounded like there was something else coming from the cabin, but hard to distinguish what.
We should just throw a feast for these pigs, then we can just sneak right in when they're distracted. Build up a massive pile of wood. They'll all come over. They start to eat. Long will shoot them all in the
I
head.
light it on fire.
Okay, tell me what we're doing.
I'm going to start gathering large quantities of wood that may keep the boars occupied for several minutes.
Okay, no problem.
And then I'm going to assemble this in a structure that looks like a boar while eating an apple in its mouth.
Okay.
Wood art.
Okay. That's fine.
And then I'm gonna ring the dinner bell and call over all the boars.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna tell Penrose to get his ass in there, and if anything happens, he can just explode into a ray of light.
Penrose has been luring the other one away, so I don't know if Penrose is immediately.
Oh, that
next to
one's
him.
leaving, but Ashley's where it wasn't.
That's correct. Yeah, one of them
Okay.
left, but the second one didn't. So you've got your little structure, no problem.
I'm gonna start salt and peppering it.
Okay, so you've got your structure. Explain more of what's happening, or somebody else pitch into what you're doing.
I'm going to set up like little bits of wood in like a trail to the boar itself, so it'll pick up bits and bits of wood and find its way to my big wooden board structure.
Where are you placing this big boar structure? Are you putting this within the radius of the already burnt, sooted area, or are you putting this outside of that radius?
Right at the edge.
Okay.
And it'll be obviously the opposite direction of the cabin.
Sure. So you'll see the one that Hamill tried to lure away will come over and start picking up the trail that you placed, and it will get right up to the edge, but it won't go any further. And so as long as there's a little bit that it can kind of get to within that sooted radius, it'll nibble, but otherwise it'll just kind of stare longingly at the thing that you made, but it won't go any further beyond that sooted radius.
So while it's distracted, Hamill would like to try to scurry inside.
All right. Would you like to try to sneak in there, or would you like to
Yes.
just do like Bassi did and just be like, well, I'm going to just wander through here? Go ahead and roll
I'd
sneak.
like to be sneaky.
Bassie's not
No, it's
very
fine.
intelligent.
I think
you
it's
know?
funny. It's funny.
I think subtle's a better word.
God.
Also, I heard Bassi has frog legs.
What?
What?
That
She
is
also
the
has
word
a
on the
wedding
street.
dress, in case you didn't know.
Does it have pockets, though? That's what I want to know.
Of course, Logan. What's the point of a skirt?
Yeah, you can't
pocket.
store anything if it doesn't have pockets.
I don't know, 1 agility.
How'd you do? 1 success?
1 success.
All right. Let me roll something really quick to see whether or not it notices. It does in fact notice you as you're trying
Long,
to
shoot
sneak
it.
pass. And hey, party wipe, yeah, we're having fun. They're trying to figure out how to deal with fire-breathing pigs right now, and they're struggling. So
since this didn't work at all, I'm gonna have to put it down.
okay, well, it turns around and then starts chasing after Hamill, who it sees kind of going in there. All right, so let's roll initiative.
How
How do you roll initiative in this game?
Roll it. All you gotta do is actually, I'll do it. I'll do it because I have your.
I thought there was an initiative button on our character sheet.
No, I don't. Is there? I don't think there is.
I don't think
I don't see one, so yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably right.
I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Let's do that. Let's throw all your tokens on there. Yeah, it's a little different. I totally forgot that we've moved over. I didn't have. Oops, that's not the right thing.
You gotta make a macro for it, dude.
Oh god, macros are a little harder in this, but everything else is pretty fantastic on Foundry. All right, so let me go ahead and add you all to the combat, and then technically I don't think Penrose would be in this one, but I also don't think the second of the two big things would either. The
When
two-
Long blasts it, then
We're
maybe it'll run over.
bonding.
right? Yeah, that
When Long
definitely.
pops a cap in its ass.
I was debating whether I wanted to like do traps, but I didn't necessarily like want to trap them.
Okay.
But
Yeah, Long's
they're
trying to
getting
shoot one
shot,
of these
but I
boars
know.
in the head, and I'm trying to scratch it behind the ears. Different worlds.
So
Anka.
this is what happens. Hamill, you're trying to sneak in. And
Yes.
this thing, as this creature, as it's chewing on the small structure that Cujo made, suddenly turns and sees, and with a tuft of a blazing red fire, notices you as you're trying to sneak from stump to stump, and it charges at you. However, you see it coming. You get a turn. We'll treat it as short distance from you. What would you like to do?
I would like to try to burrow. Seems like a good way to get out of the range of fire.
Okay, go right ahead.
You just gotta steady yourself, take aim, and just take it out in one fateful shot. No fear.
So every F piece.
One fear. Burrow.
Yeah, just roll your, because you're spending your
One
So you
FP to
D6,
burrow.
you can spend an
basically.
FP to escape conflict by burrowing down in the ground, which means you don't have to roll move. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So just roll d6
Yeah.
for your feral point.
So I'll spend that one and
Just roll d6.
roll d6. Got a 3.
Okay.
You're good.
So you're fine, and you I don't know why it says you're Penrose, but okay. But
I was
yeah,
gonna say I was really confused.
okay. So you dive down below the earth, and then it becomes Cujo's turn. This thing just ran away from you. We'll treat it as short distance for you as well, and it's going into the direction of where Hamill just burrowed into the ground.
As I see the boar kind of get its attention to Hamill, I'm gonna just be like, oh fuck, and I'm just gonna get like on all fours, and I'm just gonna chase that board down, and I'm gonna leap in and attack it.
Okay. So you
So
dive in.
let's
Go for
see.
it.
Where'd my roll thingy go? There it is. Okay.
So it should be on your gear page. Just do it.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. That's...
So I'm gonna use. So it's 2 damage, and then I'm gonna use my extra ability to pin it down.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and roll its armor first. It's got natural armor. That's 2 successes. So how much damage would you have done?
It would have been 2 damage,
Okay.
and then my extra one is a maneuver,
So
or
it-
the whatever it's called.
Okay, so it won't take any damage, but you have
Stun.
pinned it down.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, it can't move until it's freed itself by winning an attack against me.
Okay. McCloud, it is your turn. You now have, you can see that Cujo has leapt across and has landed on top of this fire pig, and the pig's like, whatever the hell, I can't do a squeal, like something like that. I don't know.
That's not bad, man.
So it's going crazy.
I'm gonna walk up to the newly pinned boar.
Okay.
Point blank
You're
it
just
right
gonna.
in the head.
Yeah, I was about to say you're about to
Point
execute
blank
this
it.
thing.
Yes, just do it.
I'm just gonna shoot it.
Okay.
Jesus, Penrose would be horrified.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you a -1 modifier because Cujo.
For animal cruelty.
Well, it's mainly because Cujo's there and they're wrestling around and everything. But go ahead.
Don't miss long.
Don't miss.
Yeah, Larry's you did.
Just cruel.
I think I lost Cujo's
And
gun in the.
Cujo's.
He's got it
dead.
on Cujo's forehead instead of.
Don't forget, you can just drag him over as well. Okay. That is a success. It's gonna roll armor. So the damage for the gun.
It's
so
2, right?
you've got
Don't you lose armor? Do you not lose armor if you block damage?
only if it's you roll ones.
Oh, if
on-
all you the explosion ones, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think I rolled two sixes and didn't roll a one.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think it's pistol or revolver. You have a revolver, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so revolver is base damage 2, and it's also 3 bonus. So did you roll 3 gear dice?
Oh no, give me 2. I thought it was.
Okay, roll 1 extra
more.
d6. Okay. Everyone stop clicking on Penrose. What the hell?
Yeah, Penrose is not killing these boars. Penrose is trying to befriend nature.
All right, so it'll take 1 damage. The armor will manage to it's a thicker hide than you thought, but yeah, you're able to effectively shoot it, and it goes as it gets shot, and you see a squirt of blood come out.
Oh.
It is now its turn, so I have to basically do a kind of a break grapple with you.
To break loose, your opponent needs to win an opposed fight roll against you. This roll counts as an action for your opponent, but not for you. While pinned, your opponent can perform no other actions requiring physical movement.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll that fight.
So I don't think this is technically. So I have the perk, the defensive. Yeah. So I don't know. Do I get this? Because technically I'm not.
No, you're not defending.
Okay.
You're not being attacked. This is just them breaking away. So no, this would.
I'm just. It's just an opposing fight roll.
Yeah, it's
basically.
just trying to break free. 1 success for me,
I want to break free.
and you keep it. You keep it hogtied. No problem.
Haha.
Penrose, you hear a gunshot go off back not too far away from you all. The creature that you're with also hears it, and you can see that it immediately freaks out. So I'm going to. So as this,
Could I try and calm it?
no,
by,
no.
like,
This is
Oh,
it's,
okay.
its turn.
Oh, gotcha.
It's its turn. So it's going to freak out at this. It's going to panic a bit, and it's going to breathe fire. So go ahead. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and spend it because I just spend my points to do it.
Okay.
So I'm spending my point to do it, and you take 1 point of damage as a burst of fire. It doesn't look like it was intending to hurt you. It just sort of freaked out from the sound, and a burst of fire comes out, hits the ground, burns your legs a bit, and take 1 point of damage from it. And then you can
So that would go to strength, right?
you go to strength, and then it's going to turn, look back at the cabin, and like in a panic, just begin to run in that direction. And now it is your turn, but it's still at short range from you.
Shoot it.
I don't have a knife.
Could I try to like calm it by like jumping in front of it and like patting it or like doing something? I don't know if that'd be like a dominate check or something.
Okay. So you wanna get in front of it and try to calm
Yeah, just
it
try to like
down?
calm it down, like the whole Jurassic Park where he puts his hands up.
Okay.
Or when he like slides the knife into its throat and he's just like shh, shh, quiet.
That's not Penrose.
Okay, go ahead and roll a dominate test. Yeah, go ahead and roll a dominate test.
Okay. I will push.
Okay.
God damn.
Jeez.
And you spontaneously burst into flames.
And it just keeps running past you. Just absolutely keeps running past you. Okay.
Yikes.
And then it comes to Bassi, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I clicked too far. It's still Bassie's turn. My bad.
I have a club,
Okay.
so I'm
Whack,
gonna.
whack.
Yeah, I want to like hit this one that the boys have on the forehead.
Okay. So you
Or
move up and you
I
try to
have a
club it?
nail gun in my thing.
Pin it down.
I think I scavenged it.
No, I thought the nail gun was your
Oh, that was
starting
my-
artifact. Your starting artifact,
Yes.
random artifact. Yeah.
Nail me to the boar so it can't
Can
break
I
free.
just like, as terrible as this is, can I just like put it on the boar's forehead and just like?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just give it a lobotomy? Jesus.
Can you do that? Yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and do that. It's fine.
Penrose is horrified right now.
You're not here to see it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm going to again roll its armor.
Stop rolling sixes.
I do, in fact. So, what's the nail gun is
Each
2 damage plus
success is
1.
2
2
damage.
So, are you
Or-
applying that stunt as a damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll
So,
be 2 total.
it's going to be 3 total because
Yeah, I was counting the armor. Though.
yeah. So, like if you do both of those stunts, it would be 4 because the damage of the nail gun is 2.
Yeah.
And so plus the stun
The
is
stun-
3, and then
Yeah.
then it's 2. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's enough. To actually no, it's not. So that's
A lobotomy is not enough, Jeff.
no.
I think it only took 3
You know-
damage so far.
You didn't quite hit the
Sorry.
prefrontal cortex. You only hit past the bone of the forehead.
You can describe what you do all you want, but there are mechanics to the game, and there are numbers, and it has 1 strength left, and I'm going to let it have its 1 strength before you murder this poor innocent animal that has done nothing to you. Go ahead, Hamill. You're
Hamill's underground.
yeah.
So Hamill's going to burrow 30 feet in the direction of what was supposed to be the cabin.
Okay. And at a certain point, you boom slam into something underneath. Like you just
Ah, the
clunk.
foundation.
Ah, the safer.
It's the foundation.
Yeah, a 3.
All
Or
right.
it's an elevator shaft.
So you bump into something,
Ooh.
and it hurts, but I'm not going to actually cause you damage, and you can't go any
Yes.
further. You can go up if you want, though. You can pop out,
Sure.
and you pop out, and you are about 5 feet away from the wall of the cabin, like the blackened sooted wall. As if there's something underneath it that is even bigger than the cabin itself.
She'll continue toward the cabin. And
Okay.
just assume that whatever behind her is distraction.
so
and
you
she'll
run
continue
inside of the
towards
cabin. Now the cabin doesn't like there's parts of the roof still left, but not a bunch, and it's basically completely burnt. And there's also lots of places where you can see that there are burnt, like they're bit wooden parts. Some of them have like large chunks missing. Some of them have tiny little nibbles pinching. Roll a scout test while you're here.
Y'all are jerk faces.
For what?
Okay. You notice that
Those little bitty ones inside.
that there is a door frame standing up, and there is a decline into the ground. And when you look down that decline, you can see that there is a big old door that is kind of creased open. But this door looks metal, and it's got this like wheel thing on the outside, like a submarine door. But it's open. And with that one, Scott, I'll also say that you hear a bunch of squeals, all sorts of different squeals coming from outside.
Oh.
Someone's getting hurt inside there.
I was right.
Right?
And that's your turn, though. I think that's enough for you. Unless you
Okay,
want to
yeah,
shout,
so-
you can shout something or whatever. But like in terms of actions, that's
No,
all
I'll
you
just turn around to go back.
got. Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Cujo, it's your turn. This thing took a gun, took a nail in its head. It took your attack, and it's still kicking. And
To
it's
be
like,
honest, I didn't actually attack it. I just pinned it down.
you attacked it. It
I
just
wanted to
blocked the
defend my
damage.
attack.
You attacked it. It
Defended my
blocked your
attack.
damage. It blocked your damage.
I wanted to kill it, but
Should
I didn't.
just straight up murder this pig?
Oh no. Penrose is not anywhere near to give any advice.
Hold on. I
Do
mean,
you have a way to like incapacitate it?
I think
You
we all, I
essentially
mean, just beating it in combat. Technically, it's not dead until
is
you
correct.
coup de grace.
That is correct.
Coup de grace it. So yeah, I guess
Kind of
I'll
like
just-
subdue then, I guess, and
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
put this.
Yeah.
I'll put this pig in a sleeper hold using
Okay.
a grapple attack.
All right, go ahead and roll it.
I
A
get
pig in a blanket.
I get a +2 mod, and you cannot defend it.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Okay, and you do in fact, and you hear it.
all right, Long. Now you can coup de grace it.
And it eventually just conks out. You can still see its big old belly kind of. It's like a big old potbelly pig
With nails coming out of its.
with a nail coming out of its forehead.
just one.
Just one nail, and there's a big old bullet wound in its side. Okay, McCloud, what do you want to do?
That's taken care of now, right?
It's out. Yeah, you can choose to kill it if you want, or you can do something else. You probably heard Hamill gasp or something from. You saw her run inside the cabin. That's about it. You know that Penrose and the other one are a little bit away at this point. They're not super close to you.
All right, I'll make my way to the cabin.
Okay. So you come up. You see this door that Hamill's pointing at. Pull it open a little bit, and you can see that there is well, this is basically a hoarder bunker. This is like a bomb shelter. And you can see that there's all sorts of shelves, these little metallic rusted shelves with other, like it doesn't look like there's a lot of good stuff here, but it looks like the shelves have been raided at some point. But you can also see that there's a bunch of like burnt down ash and wood on the ground, and there's these. Hang on, I gotta roll exactly how many. There are 3 plus 1. Okay, so there are 4. There are 26. There are these 4 small piglets that are not hovering, but they're like huddling in this small little pen in the corner, and they see you come in, and they're like, squeak, squeak, and they look frightened as you walk in. What would you like to do?
Pull out that revolver.
And I just start blasted.
Pulls out a frying pan.
Take all the
breakfast.
corruption in the world right there. What do you want to do?
The camera just cuts out to the window of the cabin. You just start seeing flashes coming from inside, muffled bangs.
Looking for some other, because it's a. Did I hear it correctly? We're looking for a hidden hatch.
Yeah, this is likely the hidden hatch. It's just you found it. Like it's a bomb
There's
shelter.
a bunch of
basically.
boars on it, so
Yeah, we're
gotta
just
take
gonna
care of the
vacate
boars.
these somehow, so
Yeah.
we gotta round them up.
Are we still in like combat?
I'll say a bit. We'll probably have to fast forward here, and the creature that's running is just going to run away from Penrose. Isn't actually going to try to attack you or anything, and then it's going to run, and it's going to burst through the tree line into the area. It's going to see Cujo on the ground and Bassi on the ground by this other, and it's going to like start charging at you at that point, but it's not quite to you. It's still short range. And then Penrose, it's your turn. I assume you're following it, but like, what else would you like to do?
Yeah, I guess I'll just try to like calm it down or stop it again without harming it.
Okay. So go ahead and try to roll another dominate test.
Yeah, unless. Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, okay. Hey.
Okay. And you kind of shout out like various commands and things, and it's like, and then it turns back to you, and it's got this look, like a confused look on its face, and it looks over towards them, and it looks towards you, looks towards them, but it doesn't. It seems to have stopped charging. It's listened to you. It's not sure what it wants to do though.
I'll just hold out another piece of like wood and like, as non-threatening as I can be. I guess I'd get low to the ground, like hunch down and just talk soothingly to the boar.
And he'll take it, and then you can see that it's trying to kind of like continue to move towards the other thing, the other one on the ground, but it's not. So it's trying to urge you towards it, even at one point.
I'll walk with it. Like I'll kind of lead it over to its hurt friend, and then I can even try and help the hurt one.
Okay. So you can see that it kind of nuzzles and nuzzles and nuzzles. Then it goes, and then it starts running into the cabin.
I will follow it.
Okay. So you see it run into the cabin. It sees McCloud and Hamill there, and it's getting super angry. But you continue to kind of shout at it and kind of calm it down, and it like pushes past Hamill and McCloud, and it takes up like this defensive position between the piglets and McCloud. But it isn't. It's like every now and then you see these tiny little flames of fire kind of spout out from its mouth, but it doesn't seem to attack. Like you found like the word that works and kind of calms it down. What would you like to do? Like overall, we'll break combat, but like what are we trying to do here? What's
I guess Penrose would try to I'm assuming that these piglets are like could fit in the palm of my hand really easily.
They're like small dogs. They're probably like 15-pound dogs or something like that.
Okay, so then Bassi and I could each hold 2 if there's 4 of them.
Okay.
So like I would put like bits of food, like offer bits of food to the babies, and then like just try to scoop them up, but like very slowly and I'm assuming this is either the mom or the dad, letting the parent watch, but like very
and
slow
like sniff
and
them.
gradual movements. Yeah.
Okay. Bassi, I need you to roll a dominate test. Penrose, you're fine. You've already passed it. But Bassi, you need to roll one if you're gonna try to touch these piglets.
Okay. Dominate. What would that hurt me with if I push it?
It's instinct.
Instinct. This could be bad, but we're gonna try it. Yeah. So I'm not helping you.
Okay. I can make 2 trips then.
The minute Bassi puts her hand out, you can hear when you see the fire, and slowly you start removing the piglets, Penrose.
I just put the nail gun back in my backpack and I just walk away.
Can I do a dominate check?
Yeah, Cujo, go ahead.
I'm gonna threaten the boar and say, if you don't let us through, the same thing's gonna happen to you and your piglet.
Jesus.
Okay, go ahead. I don't think it understands language, but go ahead.
Yeah, Penrose is growing
Do I get
gray
any
hair.
mods? We have majority, and I'm rank 7. Can I get like a +1 or +2 or +10 or something?
I'll give you
a parent protecting its cubs.
I'll give you +1 because one other person has passed a dominate test. These aren't like it's not like you're trying to do an intelligent person. This is different. So it's more
I'm just snarling at him.
Oh, sure. I mean, this thing's bigger than you, but okay.
Yeah, you're small.
Yeah, but
David
his wife is outside, pinned to the ground right now with nails. So,
okay. So at that point, like you've got all the piglets out, you've got the one that's hurt, and like you've got Cujo snarling at it. It's gonna look up at Cujo, then it's gonna look over towards Penrose. It's gonna look down at its injured mate. It's gonna look back at its cabin, and then it's gonna kind of go and nuzzle the fallen one, who slowly starts to get up, and you can see it has a little family of fireball piglets. They move away, but periodically they look back at the cabin, at their home that you just.
Yeah, Penrose is wiping away a tear out of everyone's view.
Okay. So
Viva la resistance.
To wrap it up, because we're getting near the end here, you managed to clear out forcefully, but without actually killing them. So it's kind of a middle ground thing. You could have killed all of them. You could have probably maybe domesticated.
Nail in one of their.
You probably could have maybe domesticated them and got them to be your pets or guards for.
You
put
a nail in it. You put a nail in its head.
But instead, you forcibly evicted them. That's fine.
Oh dear.
But as you look, and it's basically it's like an old hoarder's bomb shelter, and like there's not really any salvageable goods down here, but it's a safe space. Like there's some furniture and everything that hasn't been moved, and it's a relatively decent place, and it's known to not be a very safe place, and so this looks like the place that Truffaut is probably going to be hiding out for some time. And so you get him here. and you kind of explore, and probably Sniffer comes and checks it out, and so does Wildpaw and Ringo and everything. And sometime later, Small Scabs shows up, and you all begin planning the next steps of the Resistance. And we'll go ahead and call it. We can do our strategic turn off the air, so everyone can kind of get going. But let's just do our XP questions really fast, and then we'll get going. So let's see, where the hell did I put that?
I would assume I did all kinds of courageous stuff while I wasn't here.
All right, so keep track of your own XP. Did you participate in a session? Yes. Did you sacrifice or risk something for your tribe? None of you are brats, so probably no. Resistance? Sure, you can take it. Sacrifice or risk something for your PC buddy? Anybody? Did you sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe? Okay. Did you sacrifice or risk something to mess with the NPC you hate? And then did you sacrifice or risk something to reach your big dream? Bassi and Penrose, I threw, like, there's an NPC out there. If you want to, like, tie them into something, there's a couple in the Rat Tribe that might recognize you. If you want to tie them in, or if you want to create your own, that's fine. We'll figure out a way to weave them in like we did with the others. So think about that. But that's it. So let's close this down. So we are done for today. When are we playing next? Does anyone know? Do we have an idea?
I'll hit you up. My schedule's kind of all over the place right now because
Okay.
we're really short staffed. So
Sure.
I've been working nights mostly. So I will let you know
Yeah.
when I can.
Okay. We will, we'll go ahead and figure out that later and post it. Just follow my Twitter at Lollygaggerco if you want to see when we're playing next. Other things we're doing. So tomorrow, if you're around on Sunday night, you can find me playing a Shadowrun game. We're playing a variety of different systems, and right now we're doing Cortex Prime, but we're playing in the Shadowrun universe. So you can catch me on Notorious DMG TV. That's the Twitch channel. So come check that out at 9 Central. On Monday, over on twitch.tv/FreeLeague Publishing, Melissa and myself and a few others, we're playing Vaesen. We've been playing Vaesen on the official Free League channel, so you can come check that out. And yeah, we'll figure out something either for next Thursday and or next Saturday to throw up on the channel as well. So thanks for everyone that hung out. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll go ahead and just put us on the end screen. I'll see if there's anyone we can raid. But have a good night, folks, and thanks for hanging out with us.